place, but if they do, they're probably going to be in it for the long haul with you. So that was definitely my case. And it came time for me to do something. My husband, poor guy, was going through like the ultimate identity crisis and didn't know what to do with himself after baseball ended. And I thought, this is my time to help our family, and I have to figure this out. So I went on some job interviews, hated everything, and freaked out at the thought of going back to work. And so that was my sign. It was like, I have to do this coaching thing because it keeps coming back. And for some reason, it keeps coming back into my life. And so that was October of 2012. And I remember signing up quickly. And my husband's always been really supportive of Beachbody. And he sat with me on the couch one night and we were Googling like ways to grow your Beachbody coaching business. Can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys hear me? Okay. My internet like cut out there for a sec. So we were sitting on the couch together and Googling like ways to grow your Beachbody coaching business. And we saw this thing about going emerald. And we were like, okay, well, look, and, we saw this chart and it was like, okay, we could do that, so we signed him up and we couldn't afford much at the time, but this was a time in our life when we were like selling stuff on Craigslist. And so it was just like, we were just sort of the mind, like, we'll make this work. Like something's got to give and we're going to do what we can to like figure this out. So we saw those types of things as investments, like signing him up as a coach and getting me to Emerald and, making sure we were both on Shakeology because, hey, he was going to try it too. And he wanted to do Insanity. So it made sense for him to be a coach. So even though that was a stretch for us at the time, we saw that was like an investment into not only our business, but our future. And so he was one of my first coaches. Had another friend sign up pretty quickly who had kind of come to me. It was just like she sort of fell into my lap. I didn't really work for that coach. And then I made one of my best friends sign up to be a coach too. And I was Emerald within like 3 weeks. So that was one of those first, like, I remember I got that shout out on social media and I thought, okay, this is kind of fun, And then it was Christmas time and I thought, this is hard. No one is interested in this. People are saying no. No one's paying attention to this. And I didn't hit Success Club for the first. So I hit Success Club October and November and didn't hit it in December. And I just thought to myself on December 31st or whatever, it was like New Year's Eve. And I was calling my dad to see if he would want to buy some Shakeology. And I just thought, I never want to be in that spot again where I'm like trying to do that on the last day of the month and not hit that goal. And I made sure that didn't happen. So, and then coming into January, that was probably when my fire was lit for the first time. Like I really saw not only the momentum. And so I hope if you guys are new to this and you haven't experienced a January as a coach yet, I hope you know that there is some amazing stuff coming. And the work that you're doing now is preparing you for that. And I think, was it Amber who talked about it on the National Wake Up Call on Monday? She talked about this. Like, you're literally laying the building blocks for your 2019 right now. And looking back, I realized that that's what I was doing. And even when when people weren't paying attention, I thought no one was interested, I was still doing my workouts and I was still showing up because I still had goals. And so I just feel like when it comes to new coaches, that's kind of the most control you have at that stage of your business is like, what am I doing? And if I stop, then everyone's going to say, see, I told you. It's another failed business venture. It's another thing that you didn't finish. And I refused to let that be the story. So the best thing I ever did was keep just doing me, I guess. And it wasn't like I made any huge business strides. I was no Jamie Glassman in my first few months hitting like these crazy big Success Club numbers. But like, if my story of my first few years in the business tells you guys anything, I was like the Success Club 6 to 10er, like nothing flashy, no top of the charts, anything. But by the end of that first year, so coming into January, I told my coach, I am going to be diamond in January. And I didn't do it the best way. There were some discount coaches in there, but I kept building after that. And I think that was the lesson. So coming into January, I hit diamond because I was determined. And by the end of the year, we were a first-time elite team. We were a 5-star diamond team. And I just thought, okay, if I can do that, I can do more. So within the first 16 months, it was like 16 to 18 months, I was considered a 6-figure earner, which the way we break that down is usually with like a $2,000 weekly paycheck. And that was what I hit. And I just remember thinking, holy shit, sorry if there's any kids around. Like, I could not believe that that was for real. And I'm not telling you guys that like to like dangle it in front of your faces. I'm telling you guys that because if the Success Club 6 to 10er can do that and not, I didn't pull these big numbers. I didn't sell a ton of challenge packs. I didn't sponsor a ton of coaches, but the people that I did bring in were quality coaches. It was maybe 2 people a month, but I worked with them and I showed them what was possible, and I got on the phone with them and I poured love into them. And there were people who quit. Like, there are always going to be people who quit. There just are. And we deal with that every single day. And it just happened to one of my newer coaches today. She had somebody get upset because she didn't know that her Shakeology was a monthly thing, like that she was going to be billed, which we have those emails now, so there's really no reason to be upset. But she just felt like, oh my God, that was her first moment of failure and somebody's angry and I'm not making people happy. And it's like, we cannot make everybody happy. There are going to be people who quit. There are going to be emeralds who quit. There are going to be diamonds who quit. There's going to be customers who quit. There's going to be people who quit and go to another coach, and you're going to see it on social media and you're going to feel like a punch in the gut. But you guys, these are all little tests that set you up for the bigger picture. And if those little tiny things are powerful enough to knock you down, then you didn't have your feet planted in this thing deep enough to keep on carrying on. I hope that makes sense. It's those little things that get thrown at us, and we just have to be prepared for it, kind of. This is business at the end of the day. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to learn from it and we're going to be stronger for it. And so I always think like when those no's come, and for me, it kind of comes in like little waves. It's sort of like, okay, I'm not hearing back from like 10 different people, or like, I got a couple price objections. And then if I can kind of power through that with my personal development and just like give my all in my workouts and like leave it all on the floor, and I'm doing what I can to better myself and power through it, I have seen more times than not that something awesome always happens after that. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like the universe or God rewarding us for sticking it out. Like, you passed the test. Here you go. Here's a good thing, And so I don't know what it is, but if we can just hang in there, that's literally like the moral of my story is I just hung in there. I guess that's really it. There's nothing like miraculous, I don't think, that I can teach you guys other than to just dig in and be prepared to be in it for the long haul, because nothing amazing is built like overnight. It's just not. And if it's something big and awesome and flashy overnight, it's not going to withstand the test of time. And I've seen that happen. I've seen people go to other MLMs because they think it's going to be better and more exciting and they're going to make more money. And maybe they make more money in their first 3 months than they did as a coach. But guess what? The coaches who stick in there are going like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's that reward at the end for sticking it out long term and really being able to withstand those bumps in the road that come. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if you guys have questions or anything you want me to expand on. I feel like I ramble when I talk.
No, it was perfect. It was amazing. And I have a couple questions. You guys, I haven't seen any questions come in, but I will just say some questions. If you guys have them, please post them. Like, this is a beautiful, wonderful time that we have with Stephanie. So if you have questions, please post them. Get them. I'm going to ask, so you have 3 kids, now 4, right? So I guess, we're all busy, right? Everyone has other jobs, other things to do, kids, family, life in general. How did you build your business in the pockets and like, maybe just how you built your business with the craziness of having 3 kids at the time and now 4?
Yeah, I really like that question because I feel like that's, I don't want to say an excuse, but like a reason that a lot of people have. And it's valid. Like, I get it. And I mean, there are days where, first of all, I give myself the weekend. Like, the weekend is just my time to be with my family, and I don't do business stuff, even sometimes on Friday. Like, I'm just like, this is my weekend. And if, unless it's like a super important priority type of message, like somebody needs a link because they're signing up right now, or a new coach has some crazy thing that's going on and they need my help, those are priorities that I get to. But for the most part, the weekend is my time to just like, I know that that's coming at the end of a week. So when I have a couple bumps in the road that week, I know that I can unplug and decompress and give myself that space. I think one of the mistakes that I made early on was like going 100% 24/7 and not having that balance. And that's a really slippery slope. So that's definitely one of the things to like create. It's hard, like when you work from home, to create that space. My husband, even now, 6 years later, has to remind me, like, you need to turn off work mode and be in like family mode now, because work is here, work is home, work is family. And so it's hard to separate all of that. But I think one of the things that I decided when I became a coach, and I decided, because I think it's a decision, I decided that I was going to build this as a big business, was realizing that there were going to be dishes that piled up in the sink, and there were going to be loads of laundry that didn't get washed for a long time. And I think a lot of us women specifically feel like we're letting everything, like everything's failing if the house isn't perfect and things don't get tended to. But I just tend to look at it a little bit differently. Like, yes, the kids got a little bit more screen time while I was getting my to-do list done. However, I'm really open with my kids, and I always tell people, like, be honest with your kids. Like, let them see their mom work hard. I think that that's really, really powerful when our kids can see us working hard. And even when they were really tiny, I was like, mommy's doing this so that we can like go to Disneyland one day. Mommy's doing this so that we can like have dance lessons and things like that. And so they understood that this work that was happening was for something awesome that they could understand. And I just think that like life is messy. Somebody responded to one of my stories the other day on Instagram and was like, your life is so perfect. And I was like, no, it's absolutely not. And every day looks different. And that's actually one of the reasons why I personally have stayed away from setting business hours and a schedule, because I know that every day is going to be crazy. And like, there's going to be, like I told Jamie, there's going to be orthodontist appointments and things that are like a little bit off, what you think is going to be the plan. And so setting business hours for me, I know for me personally, would make me feel like I was failing if I didn't stick to those business hours. So creating that strict of structure for myself was something that I've always shied away from. So for me, it's just like, okay, the baby's napping, my husband's running errands, it's quiet for me right now, so I'm going to get my whole to-do list done instead of having to break it up throughout the day. Like, yay. I get 2 hours of focused time, or I get to work out in quiet, and so I just go kind of day by day. And I just feel like we have to let go of that perfectionist mindset when it comes to keeping a home. There's a couple days a week where I'm like, okay, clean, like laundry needs to be done. We need to tidy. But, at the end of the day, who cares if your sink is full of dishes? Who cares if it's a little bit messier? Like, we're building a freaking amazing business that's going to sustain it and give us the freedom later on. So maybe there's 2 years of chaos. Isn't that going to be worth it when then you get to be your own boss and you can quit your job that you hate, or like stop having to drop your kids off at daycare? Like, isn't that worth it? So that's how I've always looked at it. It's worth it to trade that.
Okay. We have a couple questions. I have one really quickly before I even go into there. So we're all like very new, obviously, as you know. I'm, at least from my team, the oldest, 9 months, and everyone else is like 5 months, maybe even a couple weeks, a couple months. And I've already started to notice, like obviously with myself, but a couple of my coaches, getting frustrated by just the seasons of the business, and just, having high success club 1 month and then not, and then people ghosting, and just like all of that. And you have obviously been here for so long that like the business has completely changed. I know you've been through way more just with everything. And like, I mean, I try to talk to my coaches as best as I can based on what I know, but like, what would you say to that? Because obviously like there's going to be tougher months than others, and, you know, people that join you right away and that people that, you know, ghost you or whatever. So, I mean, what do you have to, like, what kind of things can you say to that 6 years in, I guess?
I mean, I think, well, first of all, I'm going to get to like the seasons in, especially just the fitness industry. And Jamie, you probably can add some insight to this too. But what I'll say to like, you know, the good months and then kind of the harder months, and like how we can deal with those ups and downs in the business is celebrate the really, really good times and really, really soak those times in, and realize that those times are going to come again. And then in those tougher months where it feels like things are a little bit harder and things aren't moving as easily and things aren't moving as quickly, those are the perfect months to work on yourself. And I say that with all of the love, because I feel like we can have really hard days and hard weeks and hard months in the business and be like, forget it. Like, no one cares. Who cares if I post my workout on social media? Who cares if I do, you know, my workout video on my stories? Like, who cares if I show up? Obviously nobody does. They are watching. Like, I don't care what you think. I don't care if you have 100 followers. There are probably like 50 of them who are like, okay, I see. They're quiet. They're not saying anything. They're not commenting on your stuff. They're not liking it. They're not DMing you. They're not responding to your polls, but they are watching you. And with that too, pay attention to the watchers. Like, if you guys are using stories, you can see who is consistently paying attention. Engage with them. Like, even when they're not acting interested, go to their Instagram. I'm using Instagram a lot, so sorry for all the like Instagram you know, suggestions, but go to their feed and like comment on some pictures and like build that relationship. So in those tougher months, what relationships are you like really giving your attention to? Maybe it's challengers that you already have. So maybe you're counting your failures as like points on the board for Success Club, but let's look at what we do have. And maybe it's challengers who are killing it with Lift 4 right now. Or maybe it's coaches who are getting their first couple Success Club points right now. Or maybe it's that person who finally agreed to just do the BOD trial. Like, that's not a failure, you know? And so I think it's also perspective. Like, are you really failing? Like, are you? I just think if you're showing up every day and you're consistent and you're bettering yourself, people can't ignore that. And that's winning. So I don't know. It is hard. And trust me, there are days that I need to take that advice and, you know, make sure that I'm receiving it on my end too, because we're human and we're not perfect. But I just think we have to shift the perspective and really think about like, am I really failing though right now? It's actually not that bad. It's great. And this is time for me to better myself and personally develop. That's why we talk about personal development all the time.
Totally. Did you do anything different in December when no one signed up to January, or when you hit your stride, or was it just that consistency?
Well, I didn't do anything in December. I mean, I was one of those people who, you know, that first December, I think that's what the question is referring to, that first December in my business. Yeah, I didn't do the work. I didn't work on myself. I didn't show up. I was like eating all the Christmas cookies and not posting on social media. You know, it's just like, I own that. And I think that that's important too. Like, in those tougher times, like, to really self-reflect and like ask yourself, am I doing the work? Like, and it is great. Like, I talk about showing up on social media, posting your workout and stuff. That's great. Are you also inviting? Like, are you doing calls to action? Like, are you giving people an opportunity to be like, they're like, that's great, you work out. Like, man, I would love to do that, but I don't know how. If we're not telling them how, they're not going to know how. So I think that's really important too. Like, when was the last time I posted a transformation picture? When was the last time I talked about the sneak peek that my team is running? When was the last time so to be personally developed enough to self-reflect and like really ask those tough questions of ourselves. And sometimes the answer, it does come back to us, you know? So I hope that answers that question.
I think so. I'm going to Danielle, you had a couple. I'm going to combine these. So Abby says, for the people who ghosted you that weren't ready, how long do you wait to follow up? Don't want to come off as annoying or pushy. And then also like about finding your tribe and finding your team of people that were like lifers. And, you know, obviously you have a bunch of best friends on your team. So like, I don't know, how did you find that? And also how do you deal with people that ghost you and following up and all that?
Okay, I completely missed the beginning of your question because my internet cut out again. I don't know what's going on.
It was kind
Are
of,
we? Sorry, Jamie.
that's okay. Just like for people how that ghost you, how long do you wait and follow up with people, and like what's your connection with that? And finding your tribe. Like you've built a lot of best friends in this business and you have a really awesome, successful team. And so just kind of like, how did you find that? And Danielle and a couple other of my coaches saying it's hard to find like people that really get it and like understand the vision of this business and like, you know, are able to want to run with you, which, you know, is hard.
Yeah, it totally is. I remember working with a corporate mentor for the first time, or not for the first time, but consistently for a while, maybe like year 2 in my business, year 3-ish. And he told me like statistically, like for every 10 to 20 people we bring into this business, we'll have like one diamond coach. And I was like, whoa, I need to recruit more. You know, that was like the bottom line there. But to me, a diamond coach is like, I'll just call them a lifer. Let's say like somebody who like gets it. They're going to be in it. They're going to be my tribe. They're going to stick around. So when you really think of it like that, let's say even just like 1 out of every 5 to 10, you know, is going to really stick in there with us. I didn't have my first diamond, my first like personally sponsored diamond, did not come from my original 8 coaches that I sponsored to get to diamond myself. Does that make sense? So, and then my next few came months later. And then literally the funniest thing is I have that phone line. I got that phone line for the National Wake Up Call when it used to be on the phone. I don't even know the phone number. People just call it. We're like, we don't give this number to people. Who's calling us? So anyway, ignore that. So there are like long-term, there's going to be a smaller number of people who stick in it. And you can let that like feel defeating, or you can let that kind of motivate you. Like the people that are going to be my tribe and be my diamonds and be my lifers who are going to be at my team retreats, and we're going to go to leadership together, and we're going to like get an Airbnb together at Summit. Those people, you haven't even met those people yet. Like, how cool is that? Like that they're out there and we don't even know them yet. Like, I don't even know my next couple diamonds. Like, how cool. So to me, that's exciting. And I think what is going to set people apart from the people who are going to succeed long-term in this business and the people who aren't is how we look at that. Like, you can look at that and let that defeat you. Like, great. Like, I have to go out there and find all these people. I don't even know them yet. That sucks. That's a lot of work. Or that can be really exciting. And like, what can I do better that's going to bring those people to me? What can I do to like raise my vibe so that those people I'm putting out the energy that they're attracted to. Like, I'm talking about meaningful things on social media so that I find my people. So I think that's, you know, it's a perspective thing. And so it just makes me personally want to like dig in there and find those people. So don't be defeated, you know, that you don't have those lifers yet. You guys are a newer team. And I think, let's see, I was probably like 9 months in when I had my first couple of personally sponsored diamonds. There was like a lull for a while. So stick in there. And then it sort of starts to become this domino effect. Like, not only are other coaches on your team going to be like, oh, hey, all these other people are doing this diamond thing, but other people who haven't even joined the team yet are like, wow, this team is like really moving. That's cool. Like, I want to be a part of that. So, you know, that momentum, you guys are getting there. And I think that that's so exciting. Like, that beginning stage is really fun. And you guys are all going to be in it together, you know? And I think that that's really exciting. So, yeah, my first few people, Jen Richardson, we didn't know each other personally. She was somebody I kind of Instagram and Facebook stalked a little bit, and finally convinced her to sign up as a coach. And then I think she was my first diamond. And then another old friend was another diamond. I have a couple girls of my original 5-star diamond business center who are friends, like previously to coaching. But then after that, it was all people that I met on social media. So that was really fun. And then as far as the ghosting and just follow-ups in general, Amber touched on it. She talked about 12 times that you have to like market to somebody. And I always look at it like follow-ups, first of all, you know, if we're not following up, the fortune's in the follow-up. So if we're not following up, we're doing our business a huge disservice. Like I always use this analogy. Like when I'm shopping on Nordstrom.com and I put something in my cart and then kind of walk away from it, I get an email like the next day or a couple days later, like, hey, remember that you put this in your cart? Don't you still want it? Like we get those emails and we don't get, that's not automated for us. So we have to do that ourselves. And there's nothing wrong with it because we're running a business. And so don't be afraid to do that. And you don't have to be spammy and salespeople-y about it. But my rule of thumb is 48 hours. I always follow up 2 days later. I give people, because I just feel like sometimes it's maybe they're waiting for that next paycheck and I don't want to like jump on them the next day. Maybe they just need to sleep on it, talk to their husband, whatever. So 48 hours is usually my general rule of thumb. And I'll just be like, actually I have some follow-ups to do today. And this girl who was like, yeah, I'm going to do, sign up as a coach. And she hasn't, and it's been a couple of days. So I'm going to follow up with her and just say, hey, I was just thinking about you, wanted to see if you had any other questions. Let me know if I can help you with anything. Or a lot of the time I'll talk, if the kids went back to school, I'll reference something in their personal life. Like, how was the first day of school? Just thinking about you. Did you have any other questions for me about getting signed up? I like to end with a question just because it kind of prompts them to get back to me. So that's it. Like super short and sweet. That's how I would handle it. There's a really, really good national wake-up call that is years old that Brittany Leggett did that you guys can find on the podcast, the teambeachbody.com podcast. I think you can access those on the coach website too, but I just think the Apple podcast is awesome to use. And it's on follow-ups, and I learned so much from that call and still use some of those tactics today. So listen to that one if you're struggling with that.
Yeah, I mean, my first diamond coach really just happened recently, and I followed up with her. I was looking through my old chats. I followed up with her 7 times in 6 months. I mean, I was like so annoying to her, and she finally signed up, and now she's like one of the top coaches on my team. So just like the follow-up, I feel like is the business. So
it is. It really is. And I think Amber said 12 times. I've heard 7 times. So there you go. 7 times.
Totally. Okay. A lot of questions about the $2,000 a month mark. I personally will say, I feel like this is just like such a hard question because every coach is different. There's coaches making it, in a couple months and then in, 4 years. I think it's so different for everybody, but I guess, since you did have that slower start, that consistently slower start, I guess as for an authentic build, like how long did it take you to get there? How many active coaches and how did that happen, I guess?
Okay, so to paint a little picture, to be a 5-star diamond, you have to have 20 active coaches. So if you guys go into the online office, I think I remember I think it's in the policies and procedures, you can see like all the charts for all the ranks. And I used to go in there and be like, what's the average income for this rank? That like fired me up. So I spent a lot of time looking at the policies and procedures manual and those little diagrams. But to be a 5-star diamond coach, you can't just like sponsor 5 people and hope that they go diamond. You have to actually have 20 active coaches and then 2 diamonds over here and then 2. So there have to be at least 2 diamonds on each leg. So obviously it would be 2 and 3, right? So you can't just have like 5 down 1 leg. So anyway, I had exactly, in fact, I think I messaged one of my discount coaches and I was like, hey, can you get back on Shakeology? Because I was like set to go 5-star, but I had 19 active coaches and I needed 20. So I had like just enough. And so I did not have a big business center when I was 5-star diamond. However, the coaches, and like I talked about, it was quality. And I can't like take credit for that necessarily. Like, I really believe that it does take like those people who just get it. And sometimes it's going to be like, for me, it was, I probably sponsored more than 20 and people had quit or gone inactive or whatever it was, but I had 20 active. So for me, it was 20. For somebody else, it might be like sponsoring 35 or, and I've heard, there are people who recruit a ton. Like I know, Jamie, that's one of your strong suits. Like you can recruit a ton. That was not me as a newer coach. So you're going to have more active coaches than I did when I was 5-star. You know what I mean? So it's like you said, it's going to look different for everybody. For me, what I did, and I don't know where the Post-it is right now. I think I took it. I don't know why I took it down, but I have this Post-it that is usually always right in front of me that says, you cannot lead unloved people. And I think Julie Voris said that at the leadership session at Summit this past summer. And that stuck with me so hard because it was like, there have been times in my business when I've tried to be like, okay guys, you got to hit Success Club. You got to like do this. But like, if there's not like that love from their leader, and if we're not getting to know each other on a more personal level, and if I don't know their kids' names, and if I don't know what's going on in their lives, I cannot properly lead them. And I think even before I heard that comment, that quote, that was just like how I led my team. And I just think that like giving love to people and really, really digging in with them and having that contact consistently is gonna build a tribe of people who do want to stick around. Maybe they're not killing it in their business, but they feel like they're a part of something really awesome. And so I think what happened as a result of that was just that people saw what was possible, that I was like, hey, I'm not doing anything special here. And then so the people who were like, well, I can do more than that, the Jens and the Nikki Whitings and those people came in and built crazy amazing businesses. And so I think it was just teaching people like what's possible, how to do it, and getting on the phone with them and like digging in with them and giving that info and painting the picture and all of that. And they ran with it, and that's what builds team volume. I think there's a lot of misconceptions that when you guys see like the top 10 and like crazy ranked, high coach numbers, or like they have so many diamonds, which probably their team volume is pretty good. But I think there's a big misconception, at least with the way that our recognition program works, that, sorry, almost choked, that to be like in the top 10 means that you like make the most money, which is false. It's not true. It actually has nothing to do with income. So first of all, if that's your goal, girl, go for it. I think it's amazing. But if it's not your goal and you feel like, well, I'll never be in the top 10, I'll never be this, I'll never be that, so I guess I'm not going to be successful. I've never sniffed the top 10, not even close. I think one time I was 50, and that was the closest I've ever come. But it's okay, because I wasn't necessarily pulling these big numbers, but I had coaches who were doing awesome. And that's what builds team volume, which in turn builds paychecks. And for me, my focus was, I want to live in a house that I own. I don't want to rent from somebody anymore. I want to be able to paint walls in my house. I want to be able to like, change the backyard if I want to. Like those things were motivation for me that the, rankings and recognition stuff wasn't going to provide for me. So I focused on how do I build income. And that was leading a team of loved people who got it and who were hitting Success Club, because I'm a huge believer in Success Club. Like that builds residual income. And that's why we're rewarded with points for that. So we don't get Success Club points for just selling a box of beach bars, because that doesn't bring people back necessarily. Shakeology HD, Performance Line HD, those things keep people engaged in their nutrition. And if we're supporting them in a group, and I'm teaching my coaches to support their people in a group, those people are my downline coaches people are going to stay on Shakeology, and my downline coaches people are going to stay on the Performance Line. You get my drift? Like that creates volume. So you have to find a way to teach that. So, and if you don't know how, then plug your coaches into Jamie, and plug them into Megan, and plug them into me, and we'll all help them and we'll all help you guys. Like, that's what a team is for. So if you don't know how to do that, that's why we're all here. So good news. You don't have to figure it out all on your own.
Totally. Okay. Do we have any questions? How do you teach challengers to stay loyal to Shakeology?
That's a tough one because I would love for all my challengers to stay loyal to Shakeology. But they don't all. They just don't. Like, I wish, like, I just feel like it's almost that, like, we all want to save the world, like, you know, and we get it because we're here. And some people who want to stay loyal to Shakeology are people who really care about their health and their lives and their nutrition. And oftentimes the people who stay loyal to Shakeology become coaches. And to me, that is, I don't want to say it's more valuable, but I think it's more of a commitment on their part. And I think that statistically, those are the people who stick with their Shakeology, the people like us who are like, well, I get this. I want to do this and I want to share it with other people. So it's a tough one. I try all new things all the time. And I think that that's a great topic for, like, maybe a coach who is really good, who has like really high retention rates. So I'll have to, like, ask corporate who, if they know of anybody like that, because I know they're out there. But I know, like, Courtney Gubernick, who's I think listening still, is she does, like, challenger calls, which I think is amazing. And so it's like we can't lead unloved people. We can't tell people to just stay on Shakeology unless we're really pouring love and time into them. So I don't know, maybe Courtney can answer that one better than I can. Hi, Madeline.
Courtney, you want to hop in?
Sure. I didn't hear the actual question. I was helping with homework a little bit, but I got the challenger calls. And so for me, when I have a new client, in their new client email, I walk through step by step, you know, what I expect out of the challenge group. I have a recorded video about Shakeology and why it's important to stay on it, and kind of my false beliefs I had before I started with Shakeology. So it kind of addresses all that up front. You know, they're getting a really good deal with their challenge pack, but when it comes to the next month and they have to pay that $129, I want them to be educated on it's not just a protein shake. So I do that up front. And then I have a Acuity scheduler link set up with a calendar where I have specific days that I do my new client one-on-one calls. And that's a free service, Acuity scheduler. And I block 25 minutes, and I just know that these are the times of the week that people can schedule with me. And typically I'm not a hugely high success point earner. So I'm not having more than, you know, 5 or 6 of those a month, you know, maybe 10 at most. So it's something that's totally manageable. And they know they have 25 minutes with me, and I have a little kind of like checklist that I go over, you know, how to stream their workouts, how to, you know, if they're logging in to Beachbody On Demand, how to see their, the fitness or the meal plans and all that, the difference of logging into beachbodyondemand.com versus using the app, explaining the container system, making sure they know what plan and, you know, bracket they fall into. And then again, kind of laying out for them, this is my like kicker, I think that really gets people, is I explain there's 3 types of people that come to me. One person that buys a challenge pack and then I literally never hear from them again. I have the person that comes to me who logs their workout and logs their Shakeology every single day, but you might not ever see them checking in with results. And that's because they're not following the meal plan. And then I have the person that fully commits, goes all in, draws a line in the sand, changes their life. And those are the people that have the 40-pound weight loss. And most of the time transition into growing a business also. So I think I kind of paint that picture up front to them of what's expected. And since I started doing that, it's really transformed my groups and the accountability in there. But I had this limiting belief at first that I didn't have time to do that. And so I was like, I can't manage that on top of everything else I'm doing. But I realized that when I like did the math of it and the timing, I was like, yeah, I do. Like, I just have to limit it and let them know. And they, as far as they're concerned, I have another call back to back right after them. So they'll be like, oh, we only have 2 minutes left, but let me ask you, you know, my last couple questions. And I'm like, yep, you're right. Let's get the question in and let's go. So that's been really huge. And I think that if you can love on your clients, because your challenge group is the bread and butter of your business, those people become lifers and they'll convert over, some to be coaches, working coaches, some to be discount coaches. Sorry, puppy life over here. But yeah.
Can you, that's amazing. Can you share will you share your Shakeology thing with me, your video?
Yeah, I'll send you my new client email I send that has those links, and they're actually old videos, but I mean, I kind of like,
that would be amazing.
I look different, but like, why should I remake it? It's all there. And then I can also share with you the little checklist I go over on the client calls, also new client calls.
Can you send it to me too?
Sure.
And I'll share with the team as well. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I guess we can wrap it up. Stephanie, I guess I just really love to do the whole Jeff Hill ending of like, how has this business changed your life? And just, I'm always so inspired by hearing other people's stories. I know yours, but I just think it's really cool to hear. So if you could just give a little wrap up.
Yeah, I love that part too, that he does that. You guys kind of got little tidbits of how my life has changed, because when I started coaching, I was literally living a completely different life. And there are days where I pinch myself and I'm like, not only, and I'm gonna not cry, I promise. Not only like this home that we live in and that we have for our children to grow up in, you know, just knowing that Beachbody built this house, you know, just from saying yes, like that is so special. But even more than that, like what I was capable of, like there was nothing like that made me like more, you know, I don't know what the word is. Like I didn't have any, you know, prerequisites. I didn't have any experience or anything like that that made me like more better for the job, like more capable. But when I really think about it, I'm like, look at that. Like, and we all have that in us, you know, and that's the thing. I think that we all sell ourselves so short, and I did that for years too. Like, I never believed that I could build something like this, and I still pinch myself. I'm like, how? You know, how? But we all have that within us, and I think just like that part is the most awe-inspiring for me. Just like that one person has the power not only to change their life, but like it's such a ripple effect, you guys. And if we give up, like if we stop when it's hard, imagine all of the lives that like aren't going to change, like that aren't going to be positively affected because we hung in there. And that's all there is to it. Like, I'm not any more special or better or like more qualified for this job than you guys are. It's just time. Like I've been around for a really long time. Like I'm like a dinosaur in Beachbody land. And so all you have to do is just hang in there and stay consistent. Like I wasn't that big numbers person, but if I can do it, you can do it. And I think that that's like the biggest thing.
I love it. Thank you so, so much. I'm going to ask that my team just stays on for a second so we can chit chat about a couple things. But thank you so much, Stephanie. And we will see. We're not going to see you in Utah. You're the week before, right?
Yes, I know. I love that.
I wish we were going to overlap, but we'll see you soon.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Okay, my team, you guys can unmute if you're on Team Fitspire. I would love to just like chat about this wellness community if you guys are into it, if anyone has any ideas. I just think it could be so cool to like offer people just like a, you know, some inspiration and like something for free, just like a Facebook group of, I don't know, just like tips and tricks and workout ideas and stuff like that. How do you guys?
So Katie, Erin, and Christine and I were talking something similar to this, I guess, but like for people that have graduated through a challenge in the app, if they don't want to continue in the challenge but they want to be moved into something else. We were thinking about creating something like this wellness community where they could still track progress or share tips. I think it would be good, basically. I think we should do something like that and move our challengers who maybe don't want to continue with that actual challenge in the app, but need to be moved somewhere where they can still get inspiration, still see what we're doing, posting new things that are coming out, like the pumpkin, I think it would be good.
Okay. So I think I'd rather open it up to everyone, not just old challengers. Like it would just be.
Yeah. I'm just saying we were brainstorming, but yeah.
I think that would be great. And then like, obviously we can announce when there's challenge. Like I have people that are all the time coming to me like 5 months later being like, I want to jump into another group. Like, do you have something coming up? So just like posting announcements and new fun things. And, we could even go in live and do a workout so people can like follow us just to like do workouts and just fun things. So I would like this to be like run by everyone. So it's like, once a day, maybe we can like assign who wants to post something, whether it's a recipe or a little quote or just like things to add to people. So I kind of wanted to make it like a team thing where we all, do together.
So I have a question really quick.
Yeah.
If we're doing, if we would be doing this and announcing challenges, I guess my concern is like, who do they sign up under if we're announcing?
Well, okay, I was going to also say that too. Like there will be no poaching, like if I'm announcing it and they're my like Facebook friend or something and we're announcing it in the group, like I'm going to contact who I put in. Like we're going to all put in our own people into this group. Okay. Like they're not going to be able to come into this group unless we invite them.
But is there a way that we can keep track of that? Like what if
no, but like, I mean, let's be serious. If there's someone you added, like, and it says Danielle, like, I think we're all just like a team here. And I think that there's like an honesty factor.
I didn't know if you could see it. That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, I didn't know if you could see it either.
You can see it, but also I think it's like, who you're connected to. And if someone, like when we do announce challenges, like we would obviously say, connect with the person that brought you in or whatever. And if someone's contacting me and I have no idea who they are, I'm going to ask like, how did we connect? And if they say, I'm connected by Erin, then like clearly I'm not going to send them up. I think there will be none of those problems if we're all just like honest, like this is a team. And I don't think there will be an issue if there's, I think if there comes a situation where there is, we can deal with it then, but hopefully there just like won't be that issue at all.
So if it's a public group, so we are actually putting people into the group, it's not a public group, right?
It's going to be public, but not like open. Like I think we will make a link, like someone has to request to be added,
Kind of like the sneak peek that we have.
Yeah. And like Team Fits Better, like everyone has to be, you guys might send them the link, but I have to approve them. So, right. I will make all of us admins and then you're only allowed to approve your people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
really?
I mean, people can be approved. It doesn't
because
really
I approve Christine's people all the time.
I mean, I guess we can figure that out, but we would run into the issue of like connecting people, I guess, or
yeah,
people mistaking who they're brought in by. Or we can make them fill out a Google form if they want the free thing, and then we send them the invite personally. So
I feel like people in the group will know like who to go to. Like if I went into that group, like not being a new challenger, like, oh, I heard of this group through Jamie, so I know if I want to sign up for a challenge, I'll go to her. Like I feel like that's who they're comfortable going to. So they'll naturally just like reach out to that person.
Totally. If they're your friend, on Facebook or on Instagram, like they're not going to randomly come out to me and be like, hey, I see you're doing a challenge. Like we're all doing it. So I think it's, I really don't see it being an issue. And I know a lot of coaches do team wellness paid like groups. So I think hopefully we're going to be good. And besides converting them into challengers, I just think it would be really cool to add value to people that, I think we do that every day on social media, hopefully. But I think with all of our brains together and all of our inspiration together, it could be just like that much more powerful. Does anyone have any questions? How are we doing? Like, how's everyone's challenges going? Does anyone have questions for me or anyone else in the group?
Shit, I gotta sign on. Everything, yeah.
I really, besides the challenge group, I just thought that was an amazing amazing call. I didn't know anything about Stephanie Chico, to be honest.
Oh, she's the best. She's like, and to be honest, like she really took me under her wing for a while because like there was a little bit that Megan was like going through some stuff and, you know, wasn't as available to me. And so, you know, she really took me under her wing and answered a lot of questions and kind of has helped mentor me. And so like her story is just amazing. And it just goes to show you, like, if you're not hitting SC60, it's okay. Like, doesn't matter. You know, I say SC5 is the minimum, right? Like I really do believe that like you need to be moving your business forward. And if you can hit SC60, unbelievable. That's awesome. But like if you're not and you're looking at people around you comparing, literally that's going to do you nothing. So this is just not a comparison game. And you know, like as she said, after 6 years, she's crushing it and making a, you know, I don't know if you guys saw her income progression. She makes a lot of money, like crazy amounts. So, you know, it just goes to show you it's really just about being consistent over time. Like that's just it. She's not doing anything crazy. She wasn't a fitness instructor. She walked in, if you look, her Instagram is, I think it's just Stephanie Chico. She's had some crazy transformations. She was just a girl. She's from a really small town too. Like she didn't have a lot of followers. Like, so I just really truly believe that if you can look at her and where she was, that like, if you're anywhere in the same place with like certain excuses of like the followers or the time commitment or not having the background or anything like that, like it really just shows you that anyone can do this business and be consistent and successful with it if you're just don't give up, right? Like if she were to give up when it got really hard in December, she wouldn't have been, you know, where she is today. And I just think that you got to expect this to happen in your business, and personal development is going to help you get through the lower points. Is everyone reading something? I hope. Okay. I was also thinking, I know a couple other teams like do like monthly like book clubs. So maybe like next month we can all like read the same book. I don't know if everyone would be interested in that, but like, I just think it would be cool to like all get one book and all kind of just be reading it and like sharing thoughts. And, you know, then maybe like in our group, in our wellness community, we can like, that would be something cool because I get so much inspiration from these personal developments that like, you could just like share some inspo and stuff like that. So I think it would be cool next month. I know we're all like, whatever, maybe next month, starting September, we could all read the same book. And I don't have a book yet, but if you guys want to like, you know, if you have any books that you want to read that maybe we all haven't read, something like that, we can come up with something. Cause I think that would be really cool to just chit chat.
I just have to say that the personal development has been so significant, like just mentally reading it, that I literally just, we're starting to do that at work.
Totally.
We're all reading a personal development book. And then once a week at our meeting, we can't do this because of our business, but once a week at our meeting, we're giving the rest of the staff cliff notes on this book and what we took from it. Huge. Like personal development, you can apply that in more ways than just Beachbody.
I love that. I'm going to start doing that in my challenges. Like I was already talking to Christine earlier. Like I want to be making my challengers not even just like strong physically and like their body, but like a lot of them are pretty messed up in the head, as are like most of us, you know, with just like our thoughts and stuff. And I feel like if we can just like get people to really, you know, work on this, I just think it can change everything. And I can see that with myself, and I'm happy that you can too. Cause like, if you're not reading personal development, like you're not going anywhere in this business. Like truly, I believe that from every little bone in my body. So I
feel like for challengers, it could be cool to be, cause I feel like a lot of them have like a commute and maybe they don't want to like read an entire book, but just to say, hey, this one podcast episode was awesome. Like you should listen to it. And that's like a quick, like I listened to like Melanie Mitro's today. It was like literally 20 minutes. Like Rachel Hollis's are always super quick. I feel like that's a great thing for us to start suggesting.
Yeah.
Challengers.
I like that. That's a good idea. Cause I was worried about like, you know, giving them stuff like that. But I also think like Audible, you know, those on my, you know, I listen to You Are a Badass or whatever on Audible. Yeah. So I think that would be really cool. Just if we can come up with we can even start like next month with podcasts and then maybe grow into like a book on tape, you know, a book.
Yeah.
So I'm down for that. and that's it. I want to get to know people that I don't know on this team, even if you're not my personally sponsored coach. And I just want to I love that you guys, the New York girls, like went to that show last night. Like, I just want to try to all, build this community, because I feel like that's what's kept me here, within just like the challenge, obviously the money and like the fulfillment and stuff. But like, I just love this. Like, I feel like I don't get this in a lot of places in my life. And so I think, I think it's just cool that we can all kind of brainstorm together and work together to grow this damn thing. Yeah. So if you guys have if you ever want to reach out to me and just like talk personally, or if you want to talk, whatever, like I'm here. And I don't know if you guys saw 8:15 on Saturday, they're doing like that big workout thing. So I was thinking about doing it within my challengers, but I think we should all do it as a group. So it's like 8:15 a.m. on Saturday. Like, we can have they're doing it at both at any time zone. So Eastern Standard and Pacific Standard. Like, I think we should have groups of people like getting on Zoom calls, any of our challengers, any one of our coaches, just all doing the workout together. And they're picking people to win $800 for hashtags. Like, did you guys see that whole announcement? So it's basically, if you are like posting a picture or a video of you working out and hashtagging, forget the hashtag, but I'll repost in our group. You could win, $800. They're picking people that are all doing it together, even our challengers as well. So I think it would be so cool if you can hop on 8:15. I will have someone make a Eastern Standard Time Zoom. I will make the Pacific Standard Time Zoom, and we can have any of our challengers and any of our coaches jump on. I think it would be really cool. What do you guys think? Cool.
I'm in. I'm already planning on it. I've got another challenger that's going to Lexington with me this weekend, which is like up north.
So whoever, I can make the Zoom, but Katie or one of you guys who are in Eastern Standard, you guys can post it to your challenges. I'll make both the Zooms for 8:15 Pacific and 8:15 Eastern. And then you guys can all like blast it to I'll put it on the team pages. You can blast it to your challengers. And let's just like have a huge group workout.
Love it.
It'll be really fun. Okay. And that's it. And also feel free, you guys, if you have like I said, if you're reading something, that's awesome. If you're watching a video, that's awesome. If you have some insight into what's working for you, like, please post it in the team page. Do not feel like this is like my team page and I'm the only one like constantly posting. Like, post stuff that's working for you. Post an invite that like worked for you, that you're like, oh, damn, that girl like, responded well, or whatever. I think it's just really cool. We can all collab. Like, your brain is in this too. And I think that, share your success and share your struggles, and we can all kind of work together. Cool.
Sounds good.
Okay. And Abby, I just want to give you a little clap, because you guys, I have to really just shout out Abby. She's been here with me literally since day one. I'm pretty sure every other coach has quit with me since day one. She was probably like one of the first coaches that I brought in, and like, didn't know her. Literally, we never met. I've nothing like that. And she is literally from day one, just like been consistent, and like just turned emerald. And like, I'm so proud of you. So really, it just goes to show you that like consistency, like, I don't even think she hit Success Club for the first like 5 months. And now she's like rocking Success Club, like pretty hardcore. So it's consistency is everything. You don't have to have 60 SC points out of the gate. Like, that's not what it's about. And same with Alex. Like, you too. Like, I just think it's about consistency over time, knowing that is going to build success. So well done to you guys. Okay, that's all for today. I'll see you guys next time. And what'd you say? Okay. Well, let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will post the recording in the group. Tag your coaches if you think it'll be helpful. And that's it. Bye, ladies.
Great. Bye.
I got a picture. I'll post it in the page.